today we're so aware of China as an enormous economic power. And so much probably can be traced to Deng, and this is what I hope you will elaborate. You mentioned science and technology, but what about economic development? And how did it happen so quickly so that China is probably the #2 economy?
I think Deng was not the most knowledgeable about economic matters. That other man, Chen Yun, who was on the stage with him, was a specialist on the economy. Deng had been finance minister 53-54 in Beijing, so he had been familiar with some economic issues. And in December 1978, surprisingly enough, instead of pushing ahead and importing a lot of foreign goods, Chen Yun says we have to go slow. He was afraid they were going to get in debt to foreign countries. So the first thing they did for a couple years, I can see the irony of that come. The first thing they did was to retrench. And I think some of the key things they did, number one, they would allow foreign companies to come in a big way and to work with Chinese companies. Unlike Japan and Korea, which are concerned that their countries would be overwhelmed by foreign countries, China felt that they were so big that even if foreign companies came in one place, they would not overwhelm the country. And so they started in the southeast near Hong Kong and let a lot of foreigners come in very quickly and build industrial plants. And it took 2 or 3 years before the workers began to export. They were way behind in technology, industrial technology. So they let the foreign companies in charge of that. And so over half the exports were really through foreign companies that were building in China. So that was extremely important. Another key factor was once they had carried on rural land reform again and broken up the communes in 81, 82, there began to be rural markets, and they began to save money, and they began to start what we call rural town and village enterprises. And a lot of the entrance to the market came from those small independent companies. Deng felt that to tear down the state factories right away would create too many problems. So he allowed the state factories to stay employed. He didn't push them. He was afraid that unemployment would overwhelm the country. But he allowed the growth of those independent enterprises in the countryside. And that's where the initial spurt came in addition to the foreign led factories in China.